Let's talk about small speakers. It's a great time to do that because I happen to have 5 of them in the house right now. So we can talk about it with some comparisons involved and see what we can learn. Speakers produce sound by compressing waves of air into sound. So one would assume the bigger a speaker, the more air it can compress. And that's true. But there's still a place, I believe, for small speakers. Factor 1, space. You may not have space in your apartment or wherever you're living for a large speaker because you need 2 of them, right? Bigger they are, more room they take up. Next factor is weight. You've got to move them. You've got to be able to move them around. If you're transient, you're moving them more often. I can tell you at my age, I'm not interested in moving big speakers anymore. It becomes more and more of a decor. If you've got a significant other you're sharing space with, they may not appreciate your ridiculously large speakers or the fact that your speakers are using a color scheme that are clashing with whatever the motif is. Let's start here. These are Mission Model 70 Mark IIs. These were made in Great Britain. They're several decades old. I acquired them used via eBay. They do not have original mid-range speakers in them, but they sound great. Of the 5 that are here, in my opinion, this one is far and away the better sounding one. Okay, they're a good looking speaker. I will, at some point, I'll take the cover off. You can see what's inside here. They have banana connectors on the back, which is nice. These are, best I can tell, ESS PS 620s. There really is no identification on the back of them. They're kind of a tough nut to identify. They're often miscategorized, I think. At first, somebody said they were AMT 620s. I don't think that's right because AMT would stand for Air Motion Transformer. These do not have air motion transformers on them. So anyways, I'm going with ESS PS 620. I learned about these on Skylab's Audio. I think they're really slick speakers. I love ESS speakers. And the build quality is fantastic. Nice veneer cabinets. You notice there's really nothing identifying on the back. Nice sound resonator that I had to rebuild because it was missing on both speakers. So this really tells you these speakers are better suited up against a wall where this will reflect off the wall to help enhance the bass. In our demo, I'm probably not going to be doing that, just so you're aware. But these were apparently vintage. Somewhere around 1988, they started showing up. So Mission Model 760s. They are used. They are probably, several decades old as well. Also made in the UK. And, I bought them because of the size and the fact they were Missions. And my assumption is that Mission will continue to make a good speaker after experiencing those. This is a new speaker that I bought off of Amazon. I picked up the recommendation from this from Cheap Audio Man on YouTube. And of the speakers that he profiled for small speakers on an inexpensive line, these were the least expensive, which rings my bell. So these are Micca's, M-I-C-C-A. It's the MB42X G2. Nice little speakers. They again, I'll take the covers off all of these. Banana connectors in the back, little sound port here. They're kind of a composite case. Feels somewhat indestructible. These are actually realistic Minimus 7s. Smallest speakers I have. I own 2 pairs of these. I generally use them in an outdoor setting. I use them down here in my shop, and I have a pair hanging up outside near the pool that we can listen to baseball games or music while we're outside. They're kind of a metal case. They feel somewhat indestructible. I've never had a problem with them. I was able to pick these up as cheap as $20 a piece at a yard sale. I see a lot of these for sale. Just want you to know, I tried to remove the grill from this Mission speaker. I did not get what I was expecting when I removed the screws. So there's no way to have the speakers exposed on this thing. Obviously you can get in to service it, but that's not what I was trying to achieve. So it's a nice, well-built, I'll tell you what, it's a nice, well-built unit. So I did take the covers off the other 4 speakers just so you can get an idea what they look like. So I'm going to say we've got about a 5-inch mid-range slash woofer, another 5-inch. This one's more like, I'll give it 5, maybe 4 inches. Definitely looks a little smaller, but it's very different technology. Remember, this is the brand new one, okay? And this one is 4 inches is generous. But again, we're not even going to bother with these. I've already told you, these are inferior sounding. You're not going to get much bass out of that. So let's move on to the sound test. Our focus is on these 3 speakers. And you should know that these are all in the $100 range, right? Acquired all these for in the range of $100 a pair. Your mileage may vary. And I have them set up to my Kenwood receiver. I can switch between the 3 of them using the same music, and you'll be able to hear them. I don't know how much comparing things through YouTube makes sense, but I know people want to be able to hear it. So that's why I'm going to do it. All right, so for the sound test, we're going to use a Kenwood because I can put 3 sets of speakers hooked on it, and we can switch back and forth between them very easily. I'm going to stream the music via Bluetooth. I'm using copyright-free music, which allegedly lets me do this without getting demonetized. We'll see about that. I want you to know that for the receiver, I have everything set in the neutral position. So I'm not enhancing tone, right? So I have treble, bass, mid-range, all set to neutral. I do have loudness turned on. Not that that really matters. Remember, everything's constant. We're just listening to different speakers playing the same signal. And now I'll let you listen to it, and then afterwards I'll give you my impressions.
It's funny how fast things change. Never thought you would be the one to blame. For me it was nothing but a game. Knew that it would end in tears, what a shame. Now look at me in my eyes. There's only that you don't try. You say it's not worth Don't tell me how to feel. Don't tell me how to feel, baby. Don't tell me. Now look at me in my eyes and tell me that you don't try. You say it's not worth crying over. Don't tell me how to feel. Don't tell me how to feel, baby. Don't tell me.
All right, you just heard the comparison between these 3 speakers. And remember, you're hearing it through a recording done by my phone that goes up to YouTube. So I'm quite confident that what you hear is different than what I hear being in the same room with the speakers. So I'll give you my 2 cents. whether you picked up the same differences, you know, you can make your own mind. And this was the third one you heard. This one, I believe, is quite bright. A lot of good high-end detail. Little weak on the bass when compared to these other two. Nice sounding speaker. I have no problem with it. Now, let's jump over here. On this speaker, the first one we heard, to me, it was very rich, little weak, not as, I'll use the word bright, not as bright on the top end as this one was, but it had good bass. This one was lacking some bass. Obviously, it has a smaller driver compared to this driver. Now, the Mission, I think, is kind of some good high end. I heard brightness, but I also heard the same bass note that I was getting out of the ESS speakers. So to me, this one kind of merged the best of this and the best of this. So all things being equal, you know, I would probably prefer this one over the other two. Although they're very similar, they all sound excellent. If you had any one of these in your system, you would be happy. Let's face it, you can only tell the difference in speakers when you can actually compare them. You tend to like what you have, so keep that in mind. Okay, I know you're not going to be happy if I don't compare these other two speakers in here somehow. So what I did is I kind of took the one I thought was, of the other three, you know, a nice middle of the road solution. So let's keep that Mission in the comparison, bring in the other Mission, and let's leave in this little Minimus 7. So those are the three we're going to listen to. Let's see how this goes.
For me, it was nothing but a game. Oh, knew that it would end in tears. What a shame. Oh, now give me my eyes. Tell me that you don't try. You say it's not worth crying.
All right, well, there you have it. This is how I would compare them. This one, bright, lots of treble, almost no bass. Not a surprise, right? This one, well, let's start here. This one, not as bright. You know, you're not hearing that high end quite as sharply, but you're bringing in bass now, right? Good strong bass. This one, you're bringing the bright back, but you still got the bass. It's a little deceptive when you hear this because it's much brighter than this one is. It's almost like the bass is a little bit lost, but it's not lost. It's there. If you know, kind of listen to the two of them, you hear the same bass note. Over here, you really don't have that bass almost at all. So again, this is preference, right? You know, speakers sound different to different people, and you have your own preferences on what you like. And that's what's important about speakers. Ideally, you could listen to them before you buy them. That's not always easy to accomplish. But Well, thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed the video. Sure would like a comment, a like, a subscribe, and please come back. Bye.